Channel 22, Lawndale Community Cable presents CIF Southern Section Basketball. Tonight from Hawthorne, California, from the Cougars Den. It's the Hawthorne Cougars hosting the West Torrance Warriors in a high school clash. Good evening, everyone. This is Dave Marks for Channel 22. This is the last regular season ball game for both of these teams. We know for the Hawthorne Cougars, no matter what they do, it is the last game, for they are 8-18 overall and 4-9 in the Ocean League. For West Torrance, it will be their last ball game if they do not win, for they are right on the playoff bubble. They're 10-15 overall, 3-10 in the Ocean League, but they need 11 wins to guarantee them an at-large playoff berth, so that's why there is actually more at stake on the line here for them as the visitors tonight if they want to keep their season going. For the Hawthorne Cougars, who will bring out 10 seniors out of 15 on the squad, it's a matter of pride and trying to walk off from their high school career with a victory. Tap control by West Torrance. We're underway. They'll shoot at the basket to your right. They are in the light uniforms. Hawthorne in the goal. Hawthorne in the zone defense. They try to get it to Matt Belante, who's a big post player. And away from the ball, we are going to have a call. West Torrance comes out tonight in the backcourt with Jamal Dixon and Brad Dollick. They have a front line of Matt Belante and David Harris, the two big people, and Sean Brown, the small forward. There's Sean Brown on the miss. Follow-up up and in by Matt Belante, and he drew the foul with 7:39 to go. So we're just underway at the second team foul committed already by the Hawthorne Cougars. Both of these teams kind of evenly matched height-wise. That last foul for Hawthorne was their first, as the free three-point attempt is no good. On the rebound, the Hawthorne Cougars will get the basketball and bring it to the front court. Thomas Broussard committed that last personal foul. Belante missing the free throw. So it's 2-0 in favor of West Torrance. Hawthorne on the first offensive attack. Rodney Williams, one of the seniors, a little stutter step. Going to throw it back out. Now gets a return pass. Looking to get it to Mitchell. Mitchell off the glass won't go, and we'll get a call. And it's going to stay by way of the Hawthorne Cougars. Hawthorne starting Rodney Williams in the backcourt tonight. With Monroe Alexander, we'll get the rest of the starters for you momentarily. That is Broussard in the corner, going way out to Mitchell. Now to Rodney Williams. Had an idea about the three, won't take it. They go into the post, and the shot is missed from in close. Marcus McNeil, one of the seniors, put it up in traffic, but he was fouled on the way up, so he will earn his team a chance from the out-of-bounds line. These two teams met one time over at West Torrance, and West Torrance won a close ball game. That ball is tipped out of bounds. It'll stay by way of the Hawthorne Cougars. Hawthorne coached for the third consecutive year by Big Joe House. Karim Gurgis, the coach of West Torrance. Going glass, and it's a bucket for David Mitchell. David Mitchell, the senior, tying the score. A little full court pressure applied by the Cougars. Dixon and Dollick in the backcourt, and we have a whistle, and it will be either a push or an out of bounds. Brad Dollick says he was pushed, and it's going to be a foul charge against Hawthorne. That'll be the second team foul. It'll be the first personal. And it's a throw-in with the score tied at 2. Dixon and Dollick in the backcourt. They look to throw it into the post again, and it's Brown on the miss. They fight for the rebound, and it's taken away. Here comes Hawthorne to the front court. They go to the alley-oop, and there it's not able to go. Tried to run the alley-oop to Monroe Alexander on the right side. Alexander and Williams, and not able to get there. Cougars showing full court pressure once more. They get it across, and they'll have a 2-on-1 if they pass correctly, and it'll lead to a foul. So David Harris, beneficiary of the 2-on-1 after they broke the press. And it'll be another foul charged against Hawthorne. It'll be the third team foul, 6:19 to go in the first quarter. And it's going to put David Harris on the free throw line. The senior will be shooting 2. He'll get another one. Take a look at the West Torrance front line. Matt Belmonte, 6'6", David Harris at 6'6". And they work very well in the low post. 2 free throws for David Harris. West Torrance with a 2-point lead. Rodney Williams playing the point. Pass mishandled, but they're able to get it back. Aaron Yancey with it. Yancey going to take it all the way. Shot rejected by David Harris. So Yancey trying to take it in. Harris will have none of it. And this will be another 2-on-1 if they hurry, but the defense gets back. And Dixon will set up the offensive play. Jamal Dixon way out on the right. Hawthorne in the 2-3 zone. That's Sean Brown. That's his favorite shooting spot, not able to go. Offensive rebound once, twice, and a third time will lead to a foul. Hawthorne looking for the tie-up, but 3 offensive rebound attempts with Belmonte and Harris battling in there, and it leads to the foul. Foul will be charged against Aaron Yancey. That's his first, and number 5 on the Hawthorne Cougars. So Harris back to the line. He'll get one more. This year, this is the first time we've had a chance to do a ball game featuring the Hawthorne Cougars, and Hawthorne is in the Ocean League again. Used to be in the Bay League, but for the second year in a row, they are in the Ocean League and not having a very good year of it. They trail 5-2 right here. Rodney Williams, a little stutter step. Now into the corner, Williams gets it. Goes to the floater from the baseline, no good. But he drew the contact, and it should earn him a trip to the charity stripe. Well, the head coach, Joe House, feels that his team has the talent, they have the horses, but it's been a matter of getting them to play consistent and getting them to play with emotion every night. That last foul committed by David Harris, it's number 2 for him. So that a key, getting him in foul trouble sort of early. First free throw by Rodney Williams is no good. Rodney Williams, one of 10 seniors honored before the ball game. He was the first one to be introduced and a little emotional as he came to center court with his parents. You can understand this is the last organized high school ball game that he will be playing. 1 out of 2, there's the press. They break the press, get it into the front court. A little double team, and it leads to a steal. Comes Rodney Williams, and he'll miss the layup, but we get a whistle on the play, and this call is going to go against Hawthorne. So Rodney Williams had it, just not able to elevate and finish, and it leads to a foul against the Hawthorne Cougars. That'll be team foul number 6 at the 5-minute mark of quarter number 1. Showing full court pressure. And they break up the pass this time. Thomas Broussard knocking it out of bounds on the far side of the court. Another one of those seniors that was honored with his folks tonight. Last foul for Hawthorne committed by Monroe Alexander. And it's Brown with a side shot. That's his favorite spot. And he is able to can the 3-pointer. Make that Brad Dollick on the tray. 8-3, favor of West Torrance. Cougars have not looked fluid yet on the offense. There's a 3-point attempt. That's going to fall a little short. Offensive rebound. That'll fall short. And it's going to stay by way of the Hawthorne Cougars. So Hawthorne crashing the boards this time. Good play by David Mitchell. And a little bit of a stoppage of play as one of the officials is discussing something at the scorer's table. Hope it's not the clock again. It looks like the clock is in good working shape. David Mitchell wants to get it thrown in as you see them on the stack. And we'll get something cleared up. be a number situation that they're looking at. Number in a book. Somebody not reporting properly. That's Kevin Coleman, one of the officials. They haven't looked up at the clock, so we've got no idea what's going on. But when play does resume, well, now the clock has, now it is something with the clock because the clock's gone to the 8-minute mark, and it should be about 4:23. Last time we looked, it was about 4 minutes and 23 seconds. So the more things change, the more things stay the same. It seems that I can recall the last time we did a ball game from this building 1 year ago, if you can believe that. We had problems with the clock, and what may wind up happening, they just may wind up keeping it at the scores table with a stopwatch or something like that, because now they've set it back to 4:50. So confusion reigning for a couple of seconds. Frank Peters and Kevin Coleman, the two officials, getting it together. When all is said and done, it's Hawthorne ball. And right away on the inbounds pass, they're going to get a call going against West Torrance. A little bit of a push off. And it's going to be team foul number 3. So they'll simply throw it in again. Back into Rodney Williams. Soft flip won't go. Offensive rebound attempt. Broussard has it blocked, and it goes out of bounds, so the Cougars will keep it. Last 2 or 3 shots, Hawthorne Cougars have been crashing the boards. Thomas Broussard, David Mitchell making their presence felt, and it's enabled them to get a couple of opportunities, but they have yet to convert. Have yet to find the outside shot and really get anything going fluidly on the offense. Now we've got more problems with the clock, apparently. This is getting to be funny. No, it's not really. It's actually somewhat torturous. We've had very little play. That's what the clock says. Putting it back to 4:50. For why, I don't know. And they just might as well go ahead and keep it on the court. We'll just have to guess as to what the real time would be. But that might make better sense than to stop it every 10 seconds and just kind of gets you out of the flow of the ball game. Cougars have had the last 3 shot attempts, and they've kept it alive on offensive rebounds, and you got to stand around while they fiddle around with the scorers table. That's Frank Peters over there now at the table. Joe House is out of the picture to his right. Joe House, head coach. Krim Gurgis, head coach of West Torrance. So players have to stand around and try not to get too stiff. 8-3 in favor of West Torrance. So here we go. Almost slipped there was Williams. Hook pass inside and a touch pass to Broussard. And there's a bucket for Broussard. Good interior passing again. And again, we have a stoppage of play. Something else is wrong with the clock. So a bucket and a stop. And now they are apparently ready to go. Full court pressure by the Hawthorne Cougars. And there's the pass to break it. Matt Belante's got the ball. Handed to Jamal Dixon. They look to go into the post. It's broken up and taken away by the Hawthorne Cougars. Aaron Yancey got a hand in there. 8-5 is the score. There's Yancey. Going to take it to the left hand, and he doesn't get it off the glass. Battle for it. Cougars keep it alive. 3-pointer. And on the rebound, the call will go against the Hawthorne Cougars. So now we're beginning to get a little bit of play in this very long first quarter, which has had very little scoring, and very quickly the Hawthorne Cougars have gone over the limit with 17 fouls. So for the rest of the half, the West Torrance Warriors, it'll be sort of like being a home game for, they will be on that free throw line. Brad Dollick will be doing the shooting. Gave him credit for a three-pointer earlier, but in fact, he scored on a two-point shot, not a three-pointer. As timeout is taken on the court at the 3:54 mark. So what's been a slow developing first quarter, as you see Kareem Gurgis in the middle of the pack there talking to West Torrance. They know that what is at stake tonight. If they win, they get a playoff game. So this game very, very important for them. Hawthorne knows it's the last one, but they want to go out on top. In the Ocean League this year, El Segundo took first place. South Torrance second, Culver City third. Torrance and Compton Centennial are tied for fourth. And then you've got West Torrance and Hawthorne sort of bringing up the rear, but the magic number is 11 victories, which West Torrance needs if they're going to get that at-large playoff bid. So here's Brad Dollick. He'll get the bonus. Brad Dollick, a junior. He is the shooting guard. West Torrance has Hyun Shin into the ball game as they go to a couple of substitutes. Also got Dwayne Hollyfield. So they've taken the big men, Vellante and Harris, out, and a little bit of smaller lineup. 9-5 in favor of West Torrance. Monroe Alexander. Almost lost that dribble. Throw a dangerous pass taken by Williams. Foul line jumper, got it. So line drive jumper by David Mitchell. He's got 4 points. Good passing. Hawthorne Cougar offense beginning to look a little smarter in the half court. Here's a behind the back shot by Dollick that won't go off the dribble. Cougars with a chance to tie. Rodney Williams with one-on-one. Alexander in a crowd, doesn't get it off the glass. Here's West Torrance, left to right. Jamal Dixon got the return. Now to Sean Brown. And he's behind the three-point line, so it won't be a three-pointer, but Dollick not able to hit. At the 2:33 mark, first quarter. Hawthorne Cougars trying to not to score. Alexander up on the right, to Yancey. On the weave to Williams. Out a little deep, goes to Yancey. Has an idea, now he will shoot with that left hand. Rebound, Jamal Dixon. Got a couple of numbers. Jamal Dixon wants to take it glass, looks for a call, but he won't get it, and the Cougars have the rebound. Again, Cougars trying to tie. They trail 9-7. 2-minute mark of the first quarter. Rodney Williams gonna lull his man to sleep right there. And we get a push away from the ball. And it's gonna go against West Torrance. So play picking up here after it got kind of sluggish with the clock difficulties. And a whole host of substitutions gonna come in the ball game right now for Hawthorne. Daniel Castillo and Godwin O'Haley will come into the ball game. So we'll see if they have the legs. Rodney Williams tries to use the big pick by Broussard. Back out to Castillo, who just checked in. Get it now to O'Haley, goes to the hook. Nice looking hook shot, but not able to hit. Tremel Mason also in the ball game. So you've got Tremel Mason, Daniel Castillo, and Godwin O'Haley for the Hawthorne Cougars. Along with the starters Rodney Williams and Thomas Broussard. That off-balance shot doesn't go by Tremel Mason. And with 1:20 to go first quarter, West Torrance to the front court. And of course they've got some subs in the ball game as well. Looking at one of them right there, and right there. Shin not able to hit. And that's going to be West Torrance ball. West Torrance with Yoon Shin in the ball game. And they throw that off the backboard. Little errant. It lead to a breakout for the Cougars. Williams wants to go baseline, now throws it back into the lane. And it's a turnover. Probably a 3-second violation. Right now West Torrance has Craig Sue and Yoon Shin into the ball game. Two of the newer players. That's Sue with it. Paul Nitake also with the basketball. So both coaches substituting liberally here. That Shu with a three-pointer won't go. Run down by Dixon. He's been in all the way. And here's a long lead pass. It's going to go a little too far for Tremel Mason. They had the right idea, but Mason couldn't run it down. Dwayne Holyfield throwing the pass. On the turnover, 24 seconds to go. West Torrance with a 2-point lead. They break the press. That's Shin given in the lane. Shot won't go. Dwayne Holyfield on the miss. Well, that last long pass thrown on the miss on the turnover actually by Thomas Broussard. Thomas Broussard and Holyfield both wear number 24. Here's 3 seconds to go. Gonna get the last shot off, and at the buzzer, it will count. It will count. Tremel Mason gets the roller at the buzzer. So they trailed for the whole quarter, but Tremel Mason got off the last shot. And with one in the books, last game of the regular season for the Hawthorne Cougars and for West Torrance, we are tied at 9 apiece. Well, not a lot of scoring, but toward the latter stages of the quarter, both teams began to get a little more fluid offensively. Liberal substitutions of both coaches. This is a situation where you want to get as many of your seniors into the ball game, but of course, the game has a much more significance for West Torrance, being that they need a win to get to postseason. Hawthorne will not be in the postseason, and for them, they are just playing for pride. Got 10 seniors out of 15 on the roster. West Torrance has 9 seniors out of 13. So a lot of upperclassmen may be playing their last high school ball tonight. Some of them will go on to college programs, we would hope. But they want to leave nothing on the court tonight, you can bet. And we're tied at 9 at the end of one. Also tonight, the other team that we cover in the Bay League, Losing Olympians, are at Morningside. And by virtue of their victory the other night, they have probably wrapped up an at-large bid to the CIF Southern Section Division II playoffs. And right here as play gets underway, West Torrance Warriors would like to get that at-large bid. If history holds up, this should be a good night for Hawthorne, because Joe House, head coach, will remind us of the fact that it seems like these two teams wrap up the regular season the past couple of years on this court, and Hawthorne usually wins. He also mentions the fact that his team does have the talent and they are skilled, but they have a tendency to not be totally motivated for every single game. And with this being the last one, you need no more motivation than that. Here we go. Tremel Mason tied the score at the end of the quarter. It's Rodney Williams. They've checked him tightly. Gonna put one up off balance, no good. Battle for the rebound. And the call is going to go against West Torrance. Well, West Torrance has David Harris back out on the court. It's one of their starting big people. He's playing with 2 personal fouls. And it's a throw-in. Here's Castillo, left open, not able to shoot. Front rims it. There's Mason. Hits the front of the rim. They get another rebound attempt. Williams not able to hit. And finally, it's going to go to West Torrance. That last foul committed by Paul Natake of West Torrance. Hawthorne's over the limit. West Torrance has one more to give. That's Natake with it. Full court pressure, trying to see if the second unit can handle the press. And that'll stay by way of the Hawthorne Cougars. See Dwayne Holyfield, one of the big reserves. Craig Sue. Way into the corner. And as he tries to go baseline, Paul Natake will have a blocking foul charged against Hawthorne. And it'll put Natake onto the free throw line, where he will be shooting 2. Paul Natake, sophomore. See what kind of free throw form he's got. Very perfect on the first one. So that Hawthorne foul was committed by Danny Castillo. It's his first. West Torrance had a 5-point lead. Hawthorne has never led. Shaping up to be a low-scoring ball game. Natake hits 2. And it gives West Torrance Warriors a 2-point lead. Hawthorne will make a substitute. Broussard will come out of the ball game on the drive to the bucket. Get a whistle on the play as Williams took a stroll to the hole. And foul will be charged against West Torrance. It's going to put Rodney Williams on the free throw line. So Rodney Williams, one of the big seniors, and a couple of fine years with his Hawthorne program. He'll get another free throw. He's yet to mark from the field, and he's 1 out of 3 from the free throw line. And that one's a little hard. They run it down, however, and Hawthorne is able to control. Here's a three-pointer. Got it. 3-point shot by Marcus McNeil. Well, they say it's a 2-point shot. Foot was on the line. So McNeil gets the 2-pointer to tie the score. They break the full court press. Holyfield with a good pass down low, and Harris is the beneficiary. He's got 5. So that's where they want to get Harris into that low post. That's his first field goal. Look to pass it off, broken up. Cougars recover. And now West Torrance able to come away with it. Lead pass into the front court, off-balance shot won't go. John Madden with the off-balance. Now here's a 2-on-1. Good back pass, good return pass, and a bucket. Tremel Mason and Marcus McNeil worked it well. And they tie the score at 13. There's Madden. Madden, bounce pass. And that's a good cross-court bounce pass to David Harris. He threaded the needle very well, did Madden on that play. And Harris has 7. West Torrance out in front by 2. A little dipsy-do off balance by Rodney Williams. Rodney Williams seems like the most marked man on the court tonight for Hawthorne. West Torrance wants to do whatever they can to stop him from penetrating and getting loose. Thus far, they've limited him to just the free throw line. That last foul committed by Paul Natake. That's number 2 for him. So with Rodney Williams going back to the free throw line, Krim Gurgis right here at the 5:40 mark of the second quarter is going to get his starting big line back into the ball game. He's got David Harris, Matt Belmonte back in there. And we'll see if he's going to try to make a statement right here, saying maybe this is the point we feel we can go. As Rodney Williams hits the front end of the 1-and-1. Senior will try to tie the score. And he does. Good form, good rotation. Another substitute, Dimitri Smith for Hawthorne, coming in for the first time. And he will be asked to play the full court pressure to get it into the front court. Dalek back in the ball game. Dalek, Vellante, and Harris are back in, along with John Madden and Craig Sue. That's Madden. Tries to go glass, not able to hit. Tremel Mason waits for the team to get down. Good pass on the left side to Mitchell from the lane. Rebound West Torrance. Here's a lead to Vellante, and there's Volante's second field goal. He's got 5. Good lead pass, 17-15. Favor of West Torrance, 4:50 to go in the second quarter. It's been a low-scoring ball game, but the pace has picked up since they got the clock issue together. Both teams playing well on the offense. Not doing a lot of scoring, but good decisions with the basketball. There's Mitchell with 8 on the shot clock, gets it down low, and there's a bucket for Marcus McNeil. So he fed it to McNeil, he's got 6. Score tied again. Full court pressure again. And right at the midcourt line, it'll be traveling. Craig Sue called for traveling. And on the turnover, Hawthorne Cougars have it with a chance to take the lead, 4:17 to go in this second quarter. Tremel Mason. Tremel Mason and Dimitri Smith now in the backcourt. And they're with Daniel Castillo. Marcus McNeil and David Mitchell up front. There's Castillo. David Mitchell looking into the paint. McNeil strolled to the hole, and he's fouled on the way up. So McNeil getting the pass from Dave Mitchell. And he earns a trip to the charity stripe, where he'll be trying to put the Cougars into the lead. Remember, Marcus McNeil was a big key last season. And he's given Hawthorne the first lead of the night on the made free throw. For West Torrance, Dwayne Holyfield will come back into the ball game. That last foul was committed by David Harris. So that's 3 for big David Harris. And they were starting to find him offensively, so he's going to have to sit for the rest of the half. That could be bad news for West Torrance. 1 out of 2, 1-point lead for the Hawthorne Cougars. Jamal Dixon. What about Tremel Mason? And there's a wide open man for the shot that won't go. Brad Dalek left wide open, and the Cougars can't clear the rebound at the 3:30 mark, so West Torrance Warriors get another shot at it. Brad Dalek. Vellante. Shot from the foul line won't go. Holyfield with the offensive rebound. Get a push, and the push off is going to go against Holyfield, I believe. Much to the disagreement of Karim Gurgis, head coach. And it's going to put the Cougars back on the free throw line. So Marcus McNeil back on the line once more. Last foul was, in fact, committed by Dwayne Holyfield, as we suspected. Both teams over the limit, so this is the 1 plus the possible bonus. Doesn't get the bonus, but the Cougars get the ball. 3:15 to go now, second quarter. Tremel Mason. And he turns it over. Going to be called for palming, and now Mason has a little something to say there with Jamal Dixon. Referee blows the whistle to warn them. Nothing becomes of it, and they'll go to the full court pressure. They break the press, Hawthorne gets back to play the defense. It's Jamal Dixon. Meets the 2-3 zone. Dixon double team, gets it up court. Look right side of the lane. Holyfield in close, won't go. Offensive rebound, no good. And here come the Cougars to the front court. Tremel Mason looks to throw one up high that I think was knocked out of bounds from behind. Either that or it was the highest alley-oop pass I've ever seen. You have to be in zero gravity to retrieve an alley-oop pass like that, so it was knocked out by the defense. With 2:42 to go, Cougars will throw it in. Williams gonna let it fly, got it. Rodney Williams with his first field goal of the night. And it's a lead for Hawthorne. That was a three-pointer. 4-point lead. Holyfield goes in hard with the body, not able to get it. Vellante, follow, won't go. Two Cougars come down with the rebound. They've got the basketball, 2:20 to go in the second quarter. So Rodney Williams able to mark from three-point land that last time. Now he's got the ball. Left side to Dimitri Smith. Smith behind the three-point line. Mitchell running one-hander, good. David Mitchell, he's got 6. And it's a 6-point Hawthorne lead. Steal it in the front court. Here's the feed, and there's Williams. Williams now has 8 off the steal and the feed. And it's an 8-point lead with the blocking foul called. So it was a 1-point ball game when Rodney Williams hit the three-pointer, putting them up by 4. Then 2 more buckets. 2 of the next 4 points coming by courtesy of the steal and the layup. And then the blocking foul charged against Dimitri Smith. But that sort of foul that you can live with when you're trying to play the aggressive defense. This puts Jamal Dixon to the stripe where he promptly misses the free throw on the follow. Ball rebounded by Matt Vellante, and he's fouled on the way up. So break for West Torrance as they're able to use their height advantage here. Matt Vellante getting into the lane to grab the free throw and grab the rebound, and now he will go to the line. And foul committed by Thomas Broussard. And Vellante gets one more. David Harris, the other big player for West Torrance, has been kept quiet with 3 personal fouls tonight. And when he picked up that 3rd personal foul, he was just beginning to get into the offense. 1 out of 2. Hawthorne Cougars have the rebound. They lead 25-18. Rodney Williams. Pass back out. Off-balance shot, doesn't go off the glass. Rebound is up and in. Marcus McNeil, he's got 9. And it's a 9-point Cougar lead. Ball's thrown out of bounds. Press is beginning to frustrate West Torrance. So it was a close ball game. It was an 18-17 game. And West Torrance is on a 10-1 run right now. Approaching a minute to go in the second quarter. There's Smith. And away from the ball, we get a call going to go against Hawthorne. Looks like it's against Smith. He can't believe it. So Dimitri Smith will be called for his 2nd personal foul. That stops the clock at the 56-second mark. And it will put Craig Sue on the line to shoot 1 plus the possible bonus. Sue gets 1 more. Sue is one of 9 seniors on the West Torrance squad. And a pair for Craig Sue, making it 27-20. Favor of Hawthorne as we approach 50 seconds to go in the first half. Dimitri Smith. Sent in the corner to Mitchell. There's Smith behind the 3-point line, trying to atone for that last foul, not able to go. Sue with the rebound. And with 30 seconds to go, West Torrance with the ball. Sue cross court to Jamal Dixon. And the shot clock is off. West Torrance bench is yelling one shot at the 18-second mark. Joe House telling Hawthorne Cougars to get the hands up. They're in the zone. Now 10 seconds to go. Looking for somebody open. Sue's not open. Now they throw it to the baseline, and we get a whistle and an offensive foul. Brad Dollick did not have good position, and he pushed off. But he was the closest thing to an open man on the court for West Torrance. He was on the baseline. With 3 seconds to go, Hawthorne will get the ball. They'll try to go to the length of the court and get some sort of shot off. They get it in, and we're going to get a travel. Well, it looked like David Mitchell's path was impeded. But instead of a blocking foul or an offensive foul, it's a travel. 1 second on the clock. Craig Sue will throw it in. So West Torrance will get it. Chaz, I think they're arguing that there should be maybe 2 seconds instead of 1. That could be the case. Clock shows 1 second. When they threw it in, it was on 3. So that's probably what they're talking about at the scorer's table right now. And they are going to give him 2 seconds. Craig Sue will throw it in. That's the Hawthorne bench. Craig Sue will be guarded by Rodney Williams. Rodney Williams was just rubbing his hand through the hair of Craig Sue a second ago. They must know each other to be able to do that. Looking for the lob. Does he get it off? He gets it off, but the shot is blocked. So they look for Belante, but coming up with the block is Thomas Broussard. They had the right man, and he did get the shot off, but Belante sends it back. Rather, Thomas Broussard sends it back to Belante, and that's how half number 1 will end. So last regular season game for the Hawthorne Cougars. They're trying to make it a memorable one, and for the West Torrance Warriors, they are trying to get to the postseason. 16 minutes to go as they close the door and talk it over. Hawthorne Cougars 27, West Torrance Warriors 20. We'll be back with the second half right after this. Welcome back to the Cougars Den in Hawthorne, California. Dave Marks with you for Channel 22, Lawndale Community Cable. Hawthorne Cougars and the West Torrance Warriors, Ocean League Basketball, CIF Southern Section. West Torrance trying to win and get win number 11 on the year to advance to an at-large postseason bid. Hawthorne trying to wrap it up with 10 seniors trying to play for pride. And right now they are on the front end of a 27-20 score. West Torrance will have the ball as we start the second half. Shooting at the basket to your left. But there's a turnover. And so the Hawthorne Cougars will come up court, going from left to right. Monroe Alexander with the basketball. He's one of those seniors. Up on the right to Aaron Yancey. Back on the weave to Rodney Williams. And here's the three-point shot that's missed from the side by David Mitchell. High scorers at the half for Hawthorne Cougars. Marcus McNeil with 9, Rodney Williams with 8. For West Torrance, David Harris with 7. And that's him with the basketball right there as he's pushed. Matt Belante has 6. But that front line of David Harris and Matt Belante was basically ineffective in the first half because David Harris was in foul trouble. Right here, he was fouled. First foul of the second half. And it'll be a throw-in for West Torrance. Sean Brown, Jamal Dixon, Brad Dollick, and Matt Belante and David Harris are the big people for the West Torrance Warriors. That's Sean Brown. Did not play too many minutes in the first half as Karim Gurgis, head coach of West Torrance, went deep to his bench. Jamal Dixon, starting point guard. Now they look to get to the height advantage. Down low on Harris. Not able to hit, gets his own rebound to Belante. So they'll set it up again. And there's Brown behind the screen. It's an air ball, and it's taken off by the Hawthorne Cougars. Hawthorne comes with Rodney Williams and Monroe Alexander. So Marcus McNeil and Yancey, who lets one fly. Offensive rebound, McNeil won't go. Battle for the rebound is a tie-up. Yancey and Matt Vellante, and the arrow is pointing in favor of the Hawthorne Cougars. Also Thomas Broussard on the court to start the second half. Hawthorne 6:17 to go third quarter, 27-20. Hawthorne with a lead. They trailed by 5. They went on a 10-1 run and got a double-digit lead, which they have pretty much held. Now we've got a little bit of problems with the clock on the far side of the court. We had that in the first quarter, and they're hopefully straightening it out. And they'll have a whole year to get that taken care of. Gold and red, gold and scarlet colors here at Hawthorne. Inbound it to Rodney Williams. Get it into the post. Interior passing broken up and knocked out of bounds. And I believe we may have a foul on top of it. No foul. This will be a throw-in for Hawthorne. And on the stroll to the hole, off-balance shot. Traveling call. Rodney Williams trying to drive the lane. Now Hawthorne will go to the full court pressure, which worked for them in the second quarter. As you see, it gives West Torrance problems. Now they're able to get it into the front court. Brad Dollick with it. And 3 minutes in, neither team is yet to mark in this third quarter. We're still where we were at the half. Jamal Dixon behind the three-point arc. It'll be Hawthorne ball. Both teams substituted rather liberally in the first half. Mentioned this tonight for the seniors. 10 seniors out of 15 on the roster for Hawthorne, and 9 out of 13 for West Torrance. Three-point shot by one of the seniors, won't go, Rodney Williams. And it'll be a blocking foul charge against the Hawthorne Cougars. These two teams met one time in Ocean League play, and it was at West Torrance. West Torrance won a ball game by some 4 or 5 points. They break the press this time, but they don't have numbers. So we'll have to wait. And they hand it to the QB, Jamal Dixon. Into the post. Vellante, turnaround hook won't go. Vellante has had a quiet night. Cougars slow it down. Off balance, one-hander short. Offensive rebound, Broussard, no good. And we're now 4 minutes into the third quarter, and neither team has scored a bucket from the free throw line or the field. 27-20, favor of Hawthorne. Tipped and broken up through the wickets, and it's recovered by the Cougars. Good crowd on hand here tonight. Last time they'll have a chance to see, and there's a long bomb that's up and in. Rodney Williams ends the scoring drought, coming at the 4:34 mark. He's got his second three-pointer of the night. And it's a 10-point lead again for Hawthorne. He had a big three-pointer in the second quarter. That put them up by 4 when Hawthorne went on that 10-1 run. And right here, the foul is charged against Thomas Broussard. That was his second. Interception by McNeil as he knocks it out of bounds. McNeil playing free safety. Well, with this team going to lose 10 seniors, head coach Joe House knows he has quite a job ahead of him next year. He's hoping that there will be a lot of good players entering the school. Not really depending on the JV to do it. Just hoping that we get some good admissions next year. Third attempt won't go. And that lid is on solid for West Torrance in this third quarter. Is Yancey. Back out now. Does Rodney Williams feel like he has a hot hand from out there on the return from Yancey? Good back pass into the corner. McNeil got it. The back pass, and Marcus McNeil's got 11. He and Rodney Williams lead the Cougars in scoring, 32-20. Full court pressure. They break the press. Jamal Dixon try to get it into the post, but it's taken away. Here's Rodney Williams, going to break it down ahead of the field for the lay. 13 points, 34-20. And the Cougars have doubled their lead. Dalek gets it to Dixon. It's been that full court pressure that has done it. We are now 5 minutes in to the third quarter. West Torrance has yet to score a point. Both teams went almost 4 minutes without scoring, but Hawthorne has taken care of that. Shot clock at 5 seconds. That won't go. Rebound Cougars. Quarter started 27-20. It is now 34-20. Rodney Williams out to Yancey. Neither team has made a sub in this third quarter. Turnaround McNeil doesn't get the roll. 2:25 to go. West Torrance looking to mark in this third quarter. They've been trying to get it into the post, and they get it in here. Let's see, will Belmonte convert? Yes, he's able to do it. So at the 2:12 mark, Matt Belmonte finally gets them on the board. They were in danger of being shut out for the quarter. Went some 5 minutes and 42 seconds without scoring. Or something like that anyway. And that should be either a jump ball or a foul. Now after that bucket, that first bucket by West Torrance, host of substitutions coming in for both teams. Hawthorne ball. It's David Mitchell. And a jump from the foul line won't go. Battle for the rebound. Hawthorne comes away with it off the miss by Godwin O'Haley. Little hot potato action. And we're going to get a holding foul outside. Well, Hawthorne now has Godwin O'Haley into the ball game, along with Tremel Mason. Tremel Mason hit a rolling shot, a shot that rolled off the rim and in to end the first quarter to tie it at 9. And he's out there with Daniel Castillo and Rodney Williams and David Mitchell, who started the quarter. There's Castillo from the foul line, partially blocked. Offensive rebound, one time, 2 times, won't go. Godwin O'Haley looking for a foul, nothing called. And here's West Torrance, Craig Sue into the ball game. West Torrance with a host of subs. Feed it down low, Brown with the turnaround won't go. Hard battle for the rebound, and it'll be a travel as he hits the deck. So this was a very fast third quarter. Very fast indeed. Only 4 fouls called, 3 on Hawthorne, 1 on West Torrance as Brown in quickly, and he draws the contact and the foul. West Torrance now with Craig Sue and Paul Nitake into the ball game as David Harris will be on the free throw line. It's fouled that time by David Mitchell. That's Mitchell's third. And it's been a tough night for Harris. There's Big Joe House. Hails from Mississippi. Went to Holmes Junior College in Mississippi and was in the New York Mets organization as a catcher in 1980. Where an accident got him out of baseball. And he's dedicated himself to coaching ever since. 1 out of 2 free throws, 50 seconds to go. Biggest lead for Hawthorne was 14 points. The lead here 34-23. Rodney Williams, little acrobatic, out of control, won't go. And flailing the arms on the rebound, Dwayne Holyfield, of a foul charge against Hawthorne. So it had been a very quick third quarter until the last minute. West Torrance did not score a bucket until the 2:12 mark. And since then, they have just a free throw. Jamal Dixon, 25 seconds to go. Shot clock and the game clock are just about even. And the three-pointer, that's going to be the first one of the night. Paul Nitake. He's got 5. 8 seconds to go. Hawthorne will take the last shot. There's Rodney Williams at 2 seconds. He'll launch it. And he's not able to get it to go. So we went about 4 minutes without either team scoring in the quarter. And it took West Torrance until the 2:12 mark of the quarter to get their first bucket. But they only have 6 points as they were outscored in the quarter. And at the end of 3, Hawthorne Cougars 34, West Torrance Warriors 26. Only 6 points in the quarter for West Torrance. But it's still a rather close ball game. And for the most part in that third quarter, it was the aggressive defense that was able to do it for the Hawthorne Cougars. Pressing defense all over the court, causing turnovers. And the big front line for West Torrance has yet to really be effective. They've been held in check. Subs did not really come until about the 2-minute mark of the third quarter. And the complexion has changed somewhat since that point, not much. It was 27-20 at the half. So a very low scoring quarter. Only 7 points for Hawthorne and 6 points for West Torrance. But we start the fourth. And that is the second three. Do they give him credit for a three? No, it's a 2-pointer. But the second outside shot in a row hidden by Paul Nitake. And it was a 14-point lead. It's been cut to 6. And it's a side shot by the freshman, rather by the junior, Michael Washington, seeing his first couple of minutes and his first bucket. 36-28. Good pass and a layup. Dwayne Holyfield, his first bucket of the night. Final 8 minutes now for the 10 seniors of the Hawthorne Cougars, and the final 8 minutes for outside shot up and in. There's Valama Washington seeing his first 2 minutes and his first 2 points. And from West Torrance, they know that in order to get to the postseason, they've got to win here tonight. So seeing a little life in both of these teams, but the ball is thrown out of bounds. And on the turnover, the Cougars get it. It was 27-20 at the half. They built up a 34-20 lead before West Torrance was able to score a point. West Torrance had it down to 6. Cougars with the basketball. And he tries to throw it off the opposition legs, but it's going to be taken away by Nitake. So a chance to cut into the lead again. Jamal Dixon. This time he's not left open. And there's a three-point shot by Craig Sue. So something that West Torrance has not had for 3 quarters, an outside shot. And it's a 5-point ball game right now, 38-33, 5:32 to go. Turnaround shot, no good by O'Haley. And we get a call. Looks like it's going to go on Hawthorne. It'll be their 5th team foul. So Bailey on the miss. He'll be checking out of the ball game. Bailey and Daniel Castillo will be checking out. Dimitri Smith is in there. So this is crunch time and some fresh legs. Reginald Handy in the ball game also. Maybe Coach Joe House feels that the fresh legs will enable them to press more. And even though they want to win the ball game, you realize not as much at stake. We keep saying it all night for Hawthorne as it is for West Torrance. West Torrance has got to go with their surefire best because they need the ball game tonight to get to postseason. So Hawthorne can play a little more loosely if they so elect. The last foul committed by Dimitri Smith. It's some big free throws here. He'll get the bonus. So Paul Natake with 8 points. And very quietly, it is a 4-point game. Since it was 34-20 at the 2:12 mark, he's now got 9 points. West Torrance is on a 15-4 run. 5:25 to go in the 4th quarter. So it's been a second half of spurts and runs. And this not exactly the first team on the floor for the Hawthorne Cougars. So head coach Joe House letting most of his seniors get involved in the action. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Someone's going to have to take a shot. There's Reginald Handy broken up, and it's going to be a shot clock violation. So the 5 on the floor right now for Hawthorne, playing in effect like reserves, like they don't get much time, and that time not knowing how much time on the shot clock. And with 4:56, this is a ball game that at the 2:12 mark of the 3rd quarter, before David Harris scored to give West Torrance their first bucket of the 3rd quarter, this looked like Hawthorne was going to put it away. They can now tie it on the 3-pointer. There's a running shot, won't go. Tip up and in. And I believe they'll give Belante credit for the tip. He's got 10. And ladies and gentlemen, this was a 14-point lead. It is now down to 1. Hawthorne has been outscored 17-4. They go in close, and there's a layup up and in. Marcus McNeil was fed well. He's got 13. He and Rodney Williams lead the Cougars in scoring. Full court pressure, they throw it away. So what got the lead for Hawthorne in the 3rd quarter was the full court press. And it appears at the 4:19 mark for them to hold it. They will have to continue to press. It was down to 1 before that last big bucket by McNeil. Now they hook it inside. He draws the contact. Marcus McNeil and David Mitchell, some interior passing. And it'll earn him a trip to the free throw line. Hawthorne's over the foul limit. That's only team foul number 3 for West Torrance with 4:06 to go. And the referee with his arm in the air points to the West Torrance bench. And we will get a timeout taken by West Torrance with 4:06 to go. Last foul for West Torrance, charge against Dwayne Holyfield. So last regular season ball game, 4:06 to go in it. 3-point lead. Recapping, it was tied 9-9 at the end of the 1st quarter. And Hawthorne was able to tie. They trailed by 5. It was a rather sluggish 1st quarter. Had problems with the clock. They got the tie on a bucket by Tremel Mason. Sort of reminds you of the play that where the Knicks beat the Miami Heat a couple of years ago. Allen Houston had that bucket that rolled in. Tremel Mason, the senior off the bench, the bucket to tie it at 9. 2nd quarter belonged to Hawthorne. They outscored West Torrance 18-11, and they had a 27-20 lead at the half. They built the lead by basically getting the big front line of West Torrance into foul trouble. Once David Harris left the ball game, Hawthorne was able to pull away. Big 3-pointer by Rodney Williams at a 7-point lead. Then they went on the big run in the 2nd half. He got out to a 34-20 lead where West Torrance was not able to score until the 2:12 mark. But since then, it has been 17 to 6 until the last couple of points. Right here is Marcus McNeil trying to do something from the charity stripe. He gets the first. And again, not to make excuses for either one of the teams, but you would have to feel that if a playoff spot were on the line for Hawthorne, Joe House would probably be substituting a little differently. Of course, he wants to win the ball game, but you've got 10 seniors. This is their last chance. Some of them, this may be the last time any of them play organized basketball, if some of them don't go on to college programs. They're playing in front of their parents here, in front of their fellow students and friends and classmates, and you know, you don't want to go out with a bad taste in your mouth saying that you sat on the wood for 32 minutes in your final game on the varsity as a final year as a letterman. That last foul there committed by Dwayne Holyfield, so he picked up 2 big ones, and it was big because it puts McNeil back on the line where he gets a chance for redemption. And he does redeem himself. He's got 16. 43-37. Opened it up back up to 6 after West Torrance had cut it to 1. West Torrance into the front court. Here's Sue with a three-pointer. He's got it. Craig Sue, second three-pointer. And what has enabled West Torrance to really be effective in this fourth quarter is, for the first time all night, they found the 3-ball. They did not have that for 3 quarters. 3:37 to go. 43-40. McNeil, turnaround, got it. Big bucket there by Marcus McNeil. He's got 18. You knew Dwayne Holyfield had 3 fouls. Holyfield couldn't challenge it. And there's going to be a turnover. Hawthorne has it. They'll throw it back out, use a little clock. David Mitchell. Back to Rodney Williams. 3 minutes now to go in this fourth quarter. 45-40 Hawthorne. Trying to make this last game of the year, last varsity game of their careers, a memorable one. Three-pointer in and out. Rebound comes to Hawthorne. That's Michael Washington, but he lost it. Now we have numbers the other way, and the shot is taken right out of the air. He took it right out of the air, did Rodney Williams, and they're going to go to Washington for the layup. Rodney Williams took the shot right out of the air, fed it up court to Washington, and has become the other way. A whistle to stop play with 2:20 to go in the ball game. Well, that could be your highlight tonight, folks. For what happened in the backcourt, Michael Washington was looking for a foul. He tripped on the floor. He thought he was pushed. That gave Hawthorne numbers. And as you saw, Paul Nutake went up, and Rodney Williams literally caught that ball out of the air. He didn't swat it, he caught it. And he threw it up court. And Michael Washington, who was lying at the foul line on the other end of the court, was able to just get right on up and lay it in. Right here, as you can see, Dwayne Holyfield on the free throw line. He was fouled by Thomas Rustard. He doesn't get it, but West Torrance controls the rebound momentarily. Now a holding call. And we'll see who this one will be on. Looks like it's going to be on Hawthorne. And of course, Hawthorne is over the limit. West Torrance with only 3 team fouls in the second half. So with 2:17 to go, still anything could happen. So Dwayne Holyfield back to the charity stripe. That last foul committed by Washington. That's first for Michael Washington. Michael Washington, a junior. This has been a night for the seniors. Dwayne Holyfield looking for point number 5. More importantly, trying to make it a 3-point game. And he does. 2:17 to go, 47-44. Favor of the Hawthorne Cougars. West Torrance had cut it to 1 after Hawthorne led by 14. Now they're walking it up, going to use a lot of the shot clock. Got Michael Washington on the right. And he's got David Mitchell on the left with 2 minutes to go now in the ball game. Up court is Thomas Broussard. And there's Washington. Off balance, tries to fight for his own rebound, not able to get it. And now West Torrance can tie it on a three-pointer. There's Jamal Dixon. He hit one, Sue hit one out there earlier. Trying to get somebody spotted up on the right side. Now to the baseline, and the shot is blocked. Shot was blocked that time by David Mitchell. So David Mitchell blocking the shot of Paul Natake. That's 2 big blocks on Natake in this ball game. Rodney Williams caught his first one. This time it was just swatted away with the right hand. And at 1:10 to go, Hawthorne Cougars leading by 3, gonna use some clock again. David Mitchell on the right. Now there's 7 seconds on the shot clock. Feed it into the post to McNeil, but McNeil can't handle. It was a mismatch. Holyfield and McNeil. And with 52 seconds to go, here's Hawthorne. Rather, West Torrance looking to tie on the three-pointer if they can get it. Into the paint. Shot is no good. Rebound is lost out of bounds. And it's going to be Hawthorne ball. David Harris thought that it was knocked away from him. Referee that was closest to him, referee Frank Peters, was close to the play. There's Kevin Coleman, who was on the other side of the play. But it was Peters who made the call and said it was out of bounds off of Harris. And with 42 seconds to go, that's a big break for Hawthorne, because they will get the basketball and they take the timeout. So once again, if you're just joining us, what is at stake here? West Torrance needs a win. This is the last regular season ball game for them. If they get a win, they get an at-large bid to the CIF Southern Section playoffs. Hawthorne Cougars, this is their last regular season game. No matter what, they will not be in the postseason. But with 10 seniors on the squad, they want to go out with a win. The parents were on hand here tonight. Seniors were honored: Rodney Williams, Monroe Alexander, Thomas Broussard, David Mitchell, Aaron Yancey, Daniel Castillo, Dimitri Smith, Godwin Obele, Tremel Mason, Marcus McNeil. They were all honored before the ball game, and they've all seen action tonight. Some key minutes. Right here, 42 seconds on the game clock. Hawthorne with a three-point lead, and keep in mind West Torrance has some fouls they can give, and they will give one right there to stop the clock at 40 seconds. Now, if I were West Torrance, I would want to have one of their fans or someone keep an eye on the person keeping the clock for Hawthorne, because sometimes when you are on the visiting team's court, those seconds can kind of dribble. Here's a long pass going down court. Williams has it, and he's fouled. It may not be any act, but there's the quarterback throw of David Mitchell, threading the needle. Yeah, Charlie Ward in the NBA does that, and they do say it is in the act. Foul committed by Rasheen Kadam. Rasheen Kadam seeing his first minute of action. Check that. Well, that's who they originally had the foul on. And here's a big free throw made by Rodney Williams. Now got 14. .38 seconds to go in the ball game. And two big ones. So a bad foul committed by West Torrance. Foul, they had fouls to give, but obviously they didn't want to put someone on the free throw line. Hawthorne still pressuring the basketball. 30 seconds to go. Got it in the front court. Not making it easy. Here's a three-point shot. Won't go. Battle for the rebound. Hawthorne has it. And no whistle. And it's going to, well, we do have a whistle. Didn't hear one, but they're going to blow it out with 19 seconds to go. That was Hyun Shin on that three-point miss from way out. 19 seconds, it's going to be Hawthorne ball, but first they will call timeout. 19 seconds remaining in the game, 49-43. Hawthorne looking to end the season with 9 wins overall and 5 in the conference. If they can hold on for this last 19 seconds, and just a little bit crosstown in Lawndale tonight. Actually in Morningside the game is being played, but the Lusinger Olympians playing Morningside, last regular season game of the year, and by virtue of the last 2 wins that Lusinger has had against Peninsula and North Torrance, they have probably nailed down an at-large bid to CIF Southern Section playoffs. And we will not know until this weekend where they will be playing, but as they used to say on Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, you can bet your sweet bippy that we will try to cover that ball game once we find out where it is. We know that it'll probably in all likelihood not be at Lusinger because they're an at-large team. At least not the first round anyway. CIF playoffs, they work kind of funny. If Lusinger were to advance, they might get a home game in the second round, but first things first. 19 seconds to go here. Hawthorne will have the basketball, trying to hold on to the lead. Trying to avoid the 5-second violation, they get it in. And only one more foul to give to stop the clock. They do foul. 2 seconds tick off at 16 seconds. And they can foul one more time to stop it. 49-43. Well, actually that foul did put them over the limit, so now it's the 1-and-1 situation. Michael Washington will be on the line. I believe everyone on the bench has seen a minute, at least a minute tonight, for the Hawthorne Cougars, as there's Washington with a bucket. He had some big points in this fourth quarter. Palama Washington had a bucket. He was in the game for a while. Reginald Handy did not score, but he was out there for a while. 6 points, 51-43. 15 seconds to go now. West Torrance just going to throw it up. Out of bounds. 8 seconds on the clock. And it looks as though there are going to be some sweet memories with some seniors. It's been a long season that was not successful, but apparently it is going to end that way. West Torrance may have the last shot, however. There's a 40-foot rainbow bomb that won't go. 2 seconds. Buzzer will sound. The season will end. It'll end happily for the Hawthorne Cougars, and it'll end sadly for the West Torrance Warriors. Hawthorne Cougars were not going anywhere, but they will have some golden memories, and they can say that their last varsity ball game was a success. Whereas West Torrance, on the other hand, their seniors, they have 9 seniors. They did not want it to end this way. They wanted one more shot at an at-large bid, and it appears that they are not going to get it. They did not get their 11th win. And isn't it nice when you see a song that was written in 1965, when you see people from Generation X that know the words, as those cheerleaders did. They are singing My Girl, the Temptations song from 1965, written by Smokey Robinson. So a happy night here at Hawthorne as a mug for the cameras. And some seniors all over the place, senior players, classmates. They'll have this one to remember. They can go home and tape this ball game and play it back and back. And some of the players lying right at the, I don't know if they're hurt or they're happy. You see them lying right on the Cougar. It's as though they want to cherish that Cougar. It's as though they just want to remember this for a long time. Players lying right on top of the Cougar. Everyone wants to get there into the middle. There you see West Torrance, heads down. They know they had a chance to advance, but they're not going to do it. And that definitely stings when you lose that way. Well, you certainly must say the ball game was entertaining, wasn't it? It started out slowly, but it sure did end up with a bang. We had a very interesting third quarter. It took West Torrance until the 2:12 mark to finally get into the scorebook. And as you may remember, Hawthorne went on that big lead, 34-20. They got it all the way down to 1 point at 40-39 before Hawthorne put more of their starters in the ball game in the fourth quarter and were able to settle things down. And they win it going away by 8 points. And that'll end a successful, a season that had been unsuccessful, but it'll end on a happy note for some seniors. So the final score in this ball game, 51-43 in favor of the Hawthorne Cougars over West Torrance. Hawthorne now goes to 9-18 on the year. They go to 5-9 in conference. The season is over for them. Here on Channel 22 Sports, we'd like to remind you of a couple of things. First of all, we will be following what Lusinger will be doing. Lusinger more than likely is in the playoffs, as they probably haven't had large bid. If they go on the road, we'll be checking that for you sometime next week. The listings will be announced on Saturday, but you can check your listings on Channel 22, and we may be covering that ball game for you. If not, well, we hope to have some softball and some baseball for you. My name is Dave Marks. As you see the Cougar, I want to thank everyone. My partner Rufus Washington not here tonight. Tom Strickfaden, the director. Well, he's the big director, but everyone in the truck, crew, and everyone at Lawndale Cable, Channel 22 Sports. Dave Marks saying so long. See you next time.